Hey guys, welcome back to the Travel Creator Podcast. If you don't know me, I'm Laura. I'm a content strategist for travel influencers and I help them catch flights and not fleeting trends. And today we have Ciler on the podcast to talk to us about one of my very favorite topics, newsletters. Okay. I can't wait to dive into this episode with you, and it's just going to be chock full of newsletter tips and advice. And if you haven't started a newsletter yet, this is going to be a huge kick in the pants. Let's get into it.
I'm the founder of Newsletter Circle, which is a content platform for newsletter operators. I started it almost 2 years ago, actually. I've been doing some written interviews with newsletter operators about how they build their newsletter businesses from scratch. So I ask questions about how they started, how they position their newsletters in their professional and personal life, how the most effective growth strategies, and how they make money out of their newsletters. Also their learnings, mistakes, and based on these, their advices to other creators. So when I first realized that, newsletter space is growing and it has a huge potential as a content channel, I realized that, there are so many great newsletter operators out there. They are doing great job, but, there is a lack of information about how they are doing this. So I'm kind of serving as a bridge between creators, to transform all these learnings from creators, let's say. I mean, almost 70 interviews so far. And also I'm building my newsletter business in parallel. So after studying the newsletter space for 2 years, I also wanted to see the bigger picture about, what's going on in the space. I wanted to see some data to support to validate or kill my assumptions, etc. So I decided to create a report where I analyzed 75,000 Substack newsletters. Yes, I recently released this report, and my focus is on newsletter businesses. In the beginning, I was interviewing with creators, managing their newsletters as a hobby project. But now, what I'm focusing on is how to create businesses out of newsletters. So I will continue publishing reports, mini reports, or more dedicated resources about monetization methods, paid subscription, etc. And this report provided me some enlightenment about where to dig more and what to focus more, because this report takes the picture of the current situation. It provides some data, but of course we have way more questions about why and how parts, especially when it comes to paid subscription, for example. I found out the percentage of, newsletters offering paid subscription, but I'd like to provide more insights about the best practices of paid subscription or how to run a successful paid subscription, etc.
First of all, how long did this report even take you? I mean, that is a lot of research to do. That takes a long time. And how did you decide? I'm just more curious when to stop, because there's always more newsletters to look at. But were you really specific with the newsletters you were picking to put into the report? I assume. So that probably helped give you a stopping point.
Yeah, maybe I should talk about a bit about methodology and how I did it, right? Because
Sure.
75,000 newsletters is a lot, to manually analyze. So I didn't do this way. There is this methodology called data scraping, where you can gather information which is available on, Google, on the internet. And, this is the easy way to gather all these data. Of course, this is a technical thing that I don't have any expertise in. So I worked with a data scraper. We actually scraped the data, gathered the data, as many newsletters as possible. So that was not like, the objective was not like 75,000 newsletters, but we used some, methods to gather information. So from the technical point of view, that was the maximum number that I could gather. It's huge and it's enough, I think.
That is crazy. I mean, it's really impressive. What you've done is very impressive. So do you feel as though Because when I hear that somebody has analyzed all of this content, I can't help but think, wow, this is probably a really valuable research that other creators could do, whether they're studying newsletters or not. Do you feel as though you just learned so much in the process of this research that you're like, why isn't everybody just diving into case studies and researching what they're trying to excel at?
Yes, sure. I mean, the reason and the starting point of doing research was the lack of such information. I mean, there are great creators out there who are studying newsletters, but we are mainly focusing on individual newsletters stories, or I don't know, gathering a few newsletters and trying to find commonalities. But this is just one piece of the puzzle. But also, we have lots of assumptions and hypotheses about newsletter space. So I solve these needs. The starting point was my personal need to see the bigger picture as a person who is studying newsletter space. So I'm a huge believer in creating original content, doing things that others are not doing. So it was also a nice opportunity for me, as a creator who is studying newsletters, to create such report and to provide some insights that have never been provided before. So it's a win-win, for me. I learned a lot. And also, I provided something unique to my readers and to the newsletter space. But, one of the things that I learned along the way is a piece of content that you can create is really important and difficult, and doing it, of course, I mean, I put so much effort behind it. The analysis part is also challenging, but also distribution is much more difficult. You can do something great, but you also need to make sure that people hear about it.
Yeah.
And yes, so this is still, an ongoing process for me. I'm fully focused on promoting and distributing the content because I really believe in its value. Also, distribution parts is something that I learned a lot about as well.
Yeah. I know that you're very active on LinkedIn, which I appreciate. But are there other ways that you have shared this report? What is your kind of method behind trying to get it in front of people who want to download it and essentially join your own email list?
Yes, LinkedIn is one of the channels that I promote, but on top of it, outreach, one-on-one outreach is really important. So
Yeah.
I prepared a really, mega distribution plan for the reports. Actually, I'd like to share more insights about my distribution strategy after I finish the process, because there are lots of stuff that I learned. But just, to summarize, I'm leveraging on these, one-on-one reach outs. I'm leveraging on my previous relationships with other newsletter creators. I ask their support. I'm writing guest posts for other newsletters who are targeting newsletter creators.
Yeah.
I also posted on Reddit. It also brought, I don't know, over 100 signups, just a
Wow.
couple of posts. Yes,
Okay, Reddit.
Reddit is also an underutilized channel for newsletter creators. I can say that.
What?
Substack Notes. Substack Notes is another channel that I'm experimenting with. Since, the insights are about Substack, and since recently creators are really active on Substack Notes, I'm also sharing results on Substack Notes. These are the main things that I'm doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And also podcasts. There are some collaborations that I will do. I will do a webinar with another creator to discuss the results. So yeah, there is a lot on my plate currently.
No kidding. I mean, yeah, you just analyzed like that. The upfront work takes so much time, but now you're so right. This is the hardest part now, is telling everybody what you've done. The good news is that there is not just one single place to get a whole bunch of email subscribers. There are a lot of different places, especially on things like Reddit, like she mentioned, which we don't often think about as a great place to get newsletter subscribers. Basically, what's going on here is that we need to literally think outside of what we've been used to when it comes to gaining newsletter subscribers. And think about the platforms and the places where people are showing up that we haven't met them at yet. So if you are sticking to one platform right now, posting there consistently, that is amazing because that's not easy. But I would encourage you to consider, where can you add just like one more little lift? I don't want it to be too much, to another platform where you can gain those new subscribers. By the way, in my 7-day newsletter challenge, where I take you from having no newsletter at all to being able to send one consistently to subscribers over and over, as well as I give you the opportunity to steal my strategies on how to gain subscribers. And in that challenge are strategies I use to gain subscribers that I literally don't tell anybody else. Okay. The only place you can find this information is in this challenge. Right now, you can learn how to start a newsletter, build one, stay consistent with it, and gain the strategies you need to get subscribers over and over for under $100. The link to purchase that, to join the challenge with me, by the way, it's self-paced. You can do it whenever you want. You get 1 email a day. That link will always be down below for you.
There is something that creators are underestimated, is the distribution part, content distribution part. Especially if you would like to turn your newsletter into a business, and if there is a specific target audience that you are trying to reach, you need to balance creation and distribution parts, and maybe you need to put much more effort into distribution, and you need to have a solid strategy on it. I think this is one of the mistakes, underestimating the distribution part, not sparing enough time for it, and not doing it within a plan.
Yeah, a strategy.
And there are other mistakes, not mistakes, but again, underutilized channels or strategies as part of distribution, let's say. For example, outreach, doing things that don't scale, especially until you reach a sizable audience. Connecting subscribers on social media, these 101 connections, 101 relationship building efforts.
There's a lot of my listeners who are sitting on their newsletters, meaning they know it's something they need to do, but they are not doing it. And I think one of the reasons why is because it seems daunting, seems like they don't really know what to do. But I think if you could provide for them a brief explanation of what can happen when your newsletter becomes a business, that would be incredible. So if you could describe to somebody who doesn't know what it would mean to turn your newsletter into a business, that would be helpful. And I think also motivate them to put it on their to-do list. I would love that.
First of all, what I mean with business is to making money with your newsletter, for sure. And so the first benefit is you will make money. Either as a side gig or a full-time job. It depends on your preference, for sure. So this will be a monetization source for you. And then, once you start to make money with your newsletter, and also this means that you have a business strategy out there to make it bigger, or to reach your target audience, it opens up so many other opportunities. In the interviews that I do with newsletter creators, I see many cases like people who are quitting their job they don't love a lot, and land in another job thanks to their newsletter business. Or they quit corporate life and fully focus on their newsletter businesses, and they have more freedom in terms of working conditions, mobility, time management, etc. If you show that you're serious about it, about your newsletter, it also creates other opportunities, like, for example, publishing a book, or being perceived as a thought leader in your area, etc. So it's like a domino effect, I can say. Your newsletter really can have such a positive domino effect in your creator business because, for example, if you've been building your audience on a specific social media platform, then you can transition to getting them on your email list, and then you can start to sell them something via email. So it's really just this massive hub of all of your business's marketing. But I also like to think of our marketing in sort of pillars. So social media is just one pillar, your email newsletter is one pillar, but in your email,
you can do a little bit more than what you can just do on social media. You can sell to them. You can connect authentically. You can do that on social media, but people sign up to your email because they want to know about you. So really, it can do a whole lot more than we give it credit for, and it can create this domino effect because as soon as you have a social media audience, you get them on your email list, then you can start selling them something. Then you can scale back on the content you're creating and just create content to get people on your email list that they still love. Are you following? Do you see what I mean?
Of course, it depends on how they position their newsletters. Not everyone has to make money with their newsletters,
Yeah.
right? It can be just a creative outlet and still helps to become a thought leader or something. For me, building a business, if you would like to be the boss of your own job, and if you want to start building an audience first, which I believe is the best way to do it, then starting a newsletter business will serve as a really solid base for whatever product you will create or whatever service you will provide, because you will create an email list, you will know your subscribers, your audience, you will have all the information, you can gather feedback more easily. So it's a great and solid base, as I said,
Wow.
to create other, products and services.
Exactly. It's so interesting. I love looking up analytics of newsletters in general, meaning how many people open them, what do people expect to see? All of that is super fascinating to me because it's just another reason why people should be leaning into them instead of fearing them and thinking that posting online is actually easier. So crazy.
Just to build upon what you have said, it's really important to create an audience who are willing to consume your products, who are genuinely interested in reading your work, meaning that building a subscriber list who is your target audience, let's say, not just the following or something. For example, there is this trend going on Substack Notes recently. People post like, you subscribe and I subscribe back to my newsletter. It's amazing. And these posts get really high engagement and people are doing it. It's just the hallucination of growth, They're mutually subscribing their newsletters without even questioning the content.
If you are a business that is selling a product that many people could use, let's just use a water bottle, for example, then you trying to go viral might make more sense because that is something that can be consumed by a wide variety of people. But if you're a creator who has a very specific niche, for example, let's look at my own business. I am a content strategist for travel creators. Could I help somebody with a business in the education field with their strategy and things like that? Absolutely. The same things apply for the most part. But do I want a bunch of education-minded people subscribing to me, following me, seeing all of my sort of content that speaks to pain points they don't really have? No, because they're not really going to buy from me. But if you're that brand with that water bottle, going viral might be beneficial because then you're like get an influx of people buying the specific product. Whereas for me, if I went viral and all of a sudden a bunch of education people started following me, they're probably not going to buy my thing that is made for travel creators. Do you see what I mean? Going viral is not what it's cracked up to be, especially because of the pressure attached to that. And I have a really great episode out with Sophia talking about the pressure that comes with going viral. I think it's titled "So You Go Viral, So What's Next?" It's a great episode, highly recommend.
Of course, everyone can grow. They can follow whatever approach they want, but this is just not the healthy way to build a newsletter business and an email list. One of the things that I see in the report as well, one of the most surprising thing for me, 45% of newsletters were inactive.
What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, this also, this is a long-term game, and you need to be patient.
Yep.
And you shouldn't fall for all these fast growth strategies and everything, and being viral, creating a hype, etc. But it also what makes building a newsletter difficult. So I think most people give up at some point once they don't see any growth traction, or
Right. Totally.
yeah.
I think it's called I learned a couple weeks ago what that sort of place is where you're so excited to start a new project or a new whatever, you start doing it and then you hit something called the pit of despair where you're thinking, what have I done? It's not going well for me. Here I am. Should I just keep chugging along? Which is really funny, but it also kind of feels good because that's such an experience everybody is having who is trying to build something,
Sure.
which is reaffirming. But the pit of despair, whew, it seems rough. I mean, I know
And
it's rough,
yeah,
but
and we are in this time of the year as part of New Year resolutions. Many
yeah,
people will start newsletters probably.
yeah,
And I also saw this in data, by the way. New newsletters, new launches are highest at January.
of course they are.
But yeah, it's a matter of, keep doing it.
The pain of regret, guys, is much deeper than the pain of discipline. Okay, there are so many things you want to stop doing now that you listen to this and it's February. There are so many things you're like, screw it, I don't want to do this thing anymore. I said I was gonna be this different person in the new year and now I just don't feel like it because it's so cold outside or I have all these things going on. Okay, I need you to find 20 minutes on your calendar. I need you to journal about where you want to see yourself in 1 year. What are you doing in 1 year from today? Where are you? What does your life look like? Now, I want you to think about what would happen if you didn't do anything a year from now. What would your day look like? Would it look exactly the same? Is that really what you want? The year is long. There are so many things we have left to achieve. We've literally just begun. So if you're thinking about skipping, doing that thing today that you said that you would do, let this be a good old kick in the pants to not skip it. Just get it done, get it over with. The thing that you're thinking about in your head that seems so hard, in your head right now, it might be this task or this thing might be the size of the ocean. But then when you actually do it, it turns into the size of a puddle. Like it's really not that deep. It's not that big of a deal. Our brain likes to make things really difficult for us. We need to outsmart ourselves and get over it. Okay, I needed that pep talk too. What surprised you the most from the report? Was there anything that you really didn't expect to see?
I mean, I was expecting to see, of course, a portion of inactive newsletters.
Yeah.
But seeing that 45% of newsletters are inactive was a bit surprising and shocking to me.
Whoa.
Um,
Is
I mean,
inactive like they haven't published in X number of weeks or months? What is that defined by?
no, I mean, I pulled the data at a certain date and I checked the previous last 6 weeks. And if they didn't a new issue during the last 6 weeks, I classified these newsletters as inactive. Of
Yep.
course, this is how I describe for the report. There may be some fluctuations, but in
Yep.
the end, I mean, almost 2 months and not publishing any issue says something to us. And another thing, I mean, 22% of active newsletters don't use Substack recommendation. This was another surprising finding for me
Whoa.
because recommendations feature is the easiest way to grow, right? It's free, easy to apply. You just need to find some other newsletters who are creating content similar to your niche and then comment them and contact them and ask them to recommend you as well. So
Yeah.
this is the way of collaboration and everyone is open to do it. And it's like an untapped opportunity for these newsletters. This was surprising to me.
Okay, Substack recommendations work very similar to Kids Creator Network. I think Kids Creator Network is a little bit more advanced. However, they are all very similar things. Essentially, if you have a newsletter on Substack, and if you don't know what Substack is, it's just another platform where you can house your newsletter, your writing content, share with other people, have other people read it. Substack Recommends is where you can recommend other Substack newsletters to your subscribers and vice versa. It's just another great way to gain subscribers pretty much efficiently and very effectively.
And also Substack Notes. Do you know Substack Notes well, by the way?
I
Or
don't know
not?
it well, no.
How it works. Okay, this is a in-platform feature of Substack. It's like a social media feed, but only for Substack users. So there is a feed that you can post and engage with other posts.
Yep.
So it also serves as a discovery platform for newsletters for sure. It gets popularity day by day, and recently there are so many people who are posting there. So it's an in-platform growth engine, let's say, as
Okay.
well. I also look at, what is the percentage of newsletters who posted at least once on Substack Notes. And let me check the exact
Okay, no problem.
figure. I forgot it.
I'm so excited because I'm going to leave a link to this in the show notes for everybody to download.
Yes, I
That's
mean,
amazing.
44% of newsletters never posted.
Okay, so this makes me think if you're a creator with a newsletter on Substack, get on Substack Notes and like take over and be the number one person there. Wow.
Yes, yes, of
Wow.
course, you need to be consistent with publishing again, like other social
Oh,
media
yeah.
channels. It's not like just posted a note and then forget it. You need to create some time and make it priority. But if you think that you can find your people in this platform, it's a really focused one, not saturated yet. So it's a unique opportunity. And in the recent interviews that I made, there are many creators who are growing with Substack Notes. They also shared how they are growing, their posting strategy, etc. So yeah, but being consistent and publishing daily, even like 2, 3 posts in a day, and engaging with others play an important role.
Is there
Yeah.
anything else you noticed overwhelmingly in your data that you were like, why are people ignoring this feature or just not doing something? Would love to know.
Yeah, for me, I really don't understand why people don't write anything in their about pages.
Yeah.
When I see a platform and if I'm interested in it, I'd like to see who is this person creating this content. I don't know what I should expect if I give my email to that publication. What is the content that I will receive in return, etc. So just this basic information. From time to time, I see that they don't share this information. It's a really easy one.
Yeah.
So I think everyone should what they offer, their content, and how this content can be helpful to people. They should explain this in about page, just the basic one. And
Yeah.
also welcome emails. Some creators still prefer to send these, automated welcome emails. But if you consider it is one of the first touch points, contact with your subscribers. So it's a good opportunity to share some of your previous content. If you have a free product, you can share it as a thank you gift,
Yeah.
just to onboard them. Also, become more memorable. And also in any way to prevent our emails land in spam folder, at least we should ask for a reply, right? So
Yep.
welcome emails should be customized.
Yep.
And again, it should inform some information about like previous content, etc. Of course, it's not correct to overwhelm new subscribers with so many requests and information within a single email.
Right.
So the ideal way to make a sequence, welcome email sequence. Yes, this is an important one.
Okay, let's talk about my email sequence real quick. I have a welcome email sequence, meaning if you sign up to my newsletter, you are put into this welcome email sequence. And the first email you get is hey, what's up? I'm Laura. It includes information on what I do, what you can expect to receive because you signed up. And I also recorded a little video that I embedded in the actual newsletter where I'm like, hey, I'm Laura. This is what I do. Want to say hey, want to say thank you, all the nice things. And I also include in there a special offer for new subscribers, meaning they can get a discount booking a strategy session with me for being a new subscriber because I seriously value them in my community. That link below to join, by the way, is always down there. So if you want a quick way to get a great discount on my strategy sessions, that can be you. That can be your way to do it.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's a good opportunity to boost the awareness about
Yeah.
your content and
Yeah.
yourself, and to create some curiosity about what's coming. So yeah,
Exactly.
video and seeing your face and, seeing you talking is a great way. It's
Mhm.
also still different, not many creators are doing it. So
Totally. I hate doing what other people are doing. Similar to you, I love thinking about what are things people are totally ignoring, either in
Mhm,
X space or X platform, and what can I do to help them. I always say anything I could teach someone, they could go and find on the internet. Anything someone could pay me to do for them, they could go and learn how to do it themselves.
mhm,
But the value people like you provide and me is that they're coming to us to cut through all of the
mhm.
noise of like, what should I do? What should I not do? Which is fun. I love that. But I love your point about distribution from earlier of it's great that you can do all these things, but it's even better if you can figure out how to tell people about them, which is
Yeah.
surely a challenge. Do you think you'd ever create a course or something now that you know so much information? Do you feel like something like that would be on tap?
Yes, of course, it's in the plans. But first of all, this report made me think more about paid subscription, as I said, and how to apply a successful paid subscription when it
Yeah.
comes to monetization. This is just one way to monetize your newsletter. You can get sponsors, sell digital products, etc. But I'm starting a paid subscription myself as well in January.
Yay!
Um, Yay. So I really would like to dig into the best practices of paid subscription. So I will create some mini reports and dedicated content where I explore, what brings success to paid subscription.
Mhm.
So, increasing the number of my paid subscribers and providing the best value to them is my main priority. This can turn into a paid community. And also, yes, I would like to create some courses and templates for newsletter creators. Of course, I will offer some special discounts to paid members for these products as well. Can I
Yes.
ask a question here? Um, what should be the topic of the first course that I will make for newsletter creators?
Ooh, this is so interesting because I will try and speak on behalf of my target audience, and then I'll tell you something I would want as someone who
Okay,
writes consistently.
okay.
I think people in my target audience, these are creators who they are making their travel content a business. So either they're
Mm,
making money from brand sponsorships or they are learning the strategies to level up their content to be able to reach out to brands. So there's about two levels, I would say, of my target audience of listeners. They're not necessarily all my target audience, but of listeners is the creators who are already crushing it. They're making money. They just want to learn how to make more. And then there's the level of creators who are learning what to change in their content to be able to make money from it. But both of them, I think, are not taking advantage of newsletters, or they're doing it in a way that frankly nobody will really care about. Meaning, in the nicest way possible, they're sharing about their travel adventures. And I'm like, awesome.
mm,
Love to know how that hike went, but like not in so much detail nor so long. And like, what am I learning from this? Like, I don't really care about like so much of the personal anecdote. I'm trying to
mm,
learn something. I think for them, a course on what should I even put in my newsletter. I come across a lot of people who are saying, I don't even know what I would say. I don't even know what I would share. I'm like, you have how many thousands of followers and all of this content? What do you mean you have nothing to say? Like, let's use that content in your newsletter. So I think kind of trying to reframe their brain on what a newsletter even is and what content can do well in one would be really helpful. That's like very beginner level, so that's also something to consider is like it might be hard for you to think back of and try and help someone who is brand new rather than trying to help someone who is more consistent and wants to do better or more. Those are my thoughts for the beginner
yes. I
folks.
mean, what you are saying is a problem not only for beginners, I think,
Yeah.
for mid-level creators as well, if I name it that way, because it's about positioning, right? If you are clear about how you position your newsletter, its role, your target audience,
Yeah.
and their pain points, needs, and then it will be easier to find content to create for them.
Totally.
I think
Totally.
this is the confusion that many of us experience. I also, found myself whenever I'm stuck at, which product I should create, which course I should create.
Yeah.
uh, what should be my paid content, etc. Whenever I question all this stuff, I realize that it's because, there is a problem related to my positioning. And then I thought about it again.
Yeah.
And, for example, decided to focus on newsletter businesses. And then I niche down further paid subscription, first of
Yep.
all.
I love
So
it.
it's all about positioning. And yes, it's a valid point to address.
I think another idea, I mean, I have a million ideas of things you could do, but what I would crave is organizing maybe more of the technical side of things of newsletters of okay, here's all the tools that exist in these certain different platforms. Here's like how exactly to take advantage of them, or you've been using them in X way. Here's what you should really do. Those sort of technical things as well could be really interesting. And just like these small things that could level up your newsletter, like A/B testing. Okay, how long should we run that for? And all of those things would be very interesting to learn about as well. Okay, I have to ask your personal favorite way to grow subscribers, which also makes me I bet I could guess what it is. Is it like personal outreach, one-on-one?
Yes, I love personal outreach because
I knew it.
it takes time.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yes.
But
Tell
it's
me
really effective.
about that process. Like what are you doing on like a monthly or weekly or daily basis even to use one-on-one outreach to grow your subscribers? I think that's so interesting and definitely something people are not doing.
I think I should write something about it,
Yes, you should.
maybe. Yes,
Good.
because there are different ways of doing it. I'm experimenting with many things. Like LinkedIn outreach is something. I'm using tools, to send automated connections to newsletter operators on LinkedIn, for example. And then, I have my subscribers that I'm not connected on LinkedIn. So I'm finding their LinkedIns and make sure that we are connected on LinkedIn and then send messages to them,
Wow.
etc. There is email outreach parts that can be applied for many creators depending on your niche.
Right.
I mean, depending on whether you can find the data of these people, of your target audience for sure. And Substack DM is another one, for example.
Okay, good to know.
Yes, I mean, if you know who you should reach on Substack DM, and then it's a great way to message people as well. So there are these manual stuff. There are things that you can automate thanks to tools. So it's a huge topic. Yeah, but to make it more simple, at least we should be reaching out to our own subscribers. I can say that.
Yes.
We should know our super fans, let's say, who are the most engaged subscribers who are reading our issues on a consistent base and, clicking the links, etc. And then at least we should make sure that we have the information, some basic information about these readers. We are connected on social and, gather feedback from them when it's needed.
I am also glad you said that because I think when people are trying to grow their subscribers or followers on anything, they often forget that the people who are going to help them grow the most are the people who are already in their community, already subscribed or following. It's not necessarily all of the outreach you can do that will bring in all of the people, but the people who are already there, your super fans ready to go, who will send people your way because they love what you do. And I think that's heavily overlooked in any space people are trying to grow in is that you can't ignore the people who have already said yes and showed up.
Yes, we are so obsessed with growth, right?
Yes.
This is inevitable, this is what we see on social media. This is what we are exposed to every day. So it's really normal. But when it comes to building a newsletter, due to the nature of, the this channel, let's say,
Yeah.
I mean, you should be focusing on retention, finding right people, and be patient. This is a long-term game in the end.
Yeah, so true. That was really, really helpful. There's a lot of gems here. Is there anything else you want to say about newsletters to feel good, feel like you've said your piece?
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to build a newsletter. I can say that at least. It requires patience. It takes time to see some results. You need to be consistent with what you are doing. You need to be resilient. Again, another data from the report, 95% of newsletters are solo businesses. So most of the time, creators are doing things alone, This is a one-person thing. So you need to be resilient, while experiencing all these emotional up and downs. Whenever you said, okay, that's done, I mean, there's no point in that, I want to quit. Yeah, it's not an easy thing. But in the end, if you hang on and if you keep doing what you are doing, yeah, it pays off. Yeah, just keep going and keep experimenting. And if you think that you are creating a value-added content, just don't give up. This is one of the advices that I hear in the interviews as well. It sounded cliche to me in the beginning, but the more time I spent in the newsletter business, the better I understand why they keep saying this. And for the report, I think you will share the sign up page or something. Yeah, they can find it on my website.
Yes, everything will be in the show notes for the listeners. Where do you want people to find you? To subscribe to Newsletter Circle or LinkedIn or both? We'll put it all in there, but do you have a preference?
Both, I mean. Both will be amazing.
Okay.
I mean, of course, to get, my weekly content, I would invite everyone to subscribe to my newsletter who is interested in newsletter space. So they can find, the sign-up form on my website, newslettercircle.com. And also, let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm sharing content on LinkedIn, and I'm really, open to have a discussion about newsletters and to stay connected. So feel free to reach out to me. I can say that.
I love talking about newsletters, and being able to talk about it in this way with somebody else who is just as nerdy about newsletters, if not more, is so exciting and awesome. And I genuinely can't wait to listen back to this episode and take my own notes. If you loved what you heard today, I would love to hear from you. You can find me on Instagram at Travel Content Writing. You can send me an email, laura@travelcontentwriting.com. I dare you. I double dog dare you. But if you're like, oh shit, okay, I've just been listening to this, and now I realize I need a newsletter, I have a 7-day challenge for you. I mentioned it earlier in the episode, but the link to join will be below, and I will walk you through from day zero, okay? We're going to decide on the purpose of your newsletter all the way up to day 6, which is my favorite. We do go to day 7, but day 6 is my favorite, where we are going to gain newsletter subscribers, and I'm going to show you how to do it consistently and sustainably in a way that won't burn you out and in a way where you will be consistent with it. Day 7 is where we review and send. The days in between are about choosing the sections you want to send in your newsletter, setting up Kit, designing your newsletter content, and then we review, send, do it all again. Essentially, you are set up with what you need to be consistent in a newsletter. You can finally cross that off your dang to-do list because I know it's been sitting there. I know it. I freaking know it. So if that is you, if you are that person who has that newsletter on your back burner, you can join the 7-day newsletter challenge, which is self-paced, by the way. It's not like we start on one day. And if you're in, you're in. If you're out, you missed it. No, you can start whenever you want. Emails come to you every day for 7 days. Plus there's PDFs inside in case following along with a long email is just like not your vibe. I get it. Right now, you can join the challenge for less than $100 for 7 days of guidance on how to create a newsletter, gain subscribers, and be consistent with it finally. The link to join the challenge is below, and I can't wait to see you inside. If you have questions about the challenge, you know where to find me. Instagram is a great place to send me a message. Happy creating, friends, and I'll see you next week. P.S. Thank you for listening.